welcome to lesson 3.2, where we'll explore the art of framing your questions for clarity. That is lesson 3.2, framing your questions for clarity. How to ask the right questions for meaningful I Ching insights. Have you ever found yourself puzzled by the answers you get from the I Ching? Today we'll uncover how asking the right questions can lead to meaningful insights. First and foremost, remember that questions we ask shape the answers we receive. When you interact with the I Ching, our aim is to seek understanding and reflection, not definite predictions. But I emphasize this point. Crafting clear, open-ended questions is key. This approach not only invites deeper exploration, but also aligns with the spirit of the I Ching as a guide. As we move forward, we'll discuss techniques for enhancing the clarity of your questions, ensuring that your interactions with the I Ching are both insightful and rewarding. Overview. Overview, we see quality of the answer you receive from the I Ching depends on the clarity of your question. Also presented in this overview, we'll go over how to avoid yes and no questions. Should I say avoid yes and no questions? Unless you want to use the one toss I was talking about in the lesson before this. But again, instead, ask open-end questions that invite exploration and insight, more in-depth to the question creation process. Now, let's delve into the importance of framing your questions and consulting the I Ching. First of all, remember that clarity of your question directly affects the quality of the answer you will receive. And I put will over might. Will receive answer. The I Ching thrives on open-end questions that promote deep exploration and insight. Avoid yes, no questions. They tend to limit the depth of the response and don't really capture the essence of what the I Ching can offer. Instead, think about how you can invite a broader perspective by asking questions that encourage reflection. As we move on, we'll explore why clarity matters and how to frame effective questions. This approach will help you gain more meaningful insight from your I Ching practice. Why clarity matters. The I Ching is a guide for reflection, not fortune telling. Vague or overly narrow questions may lead to irrelevant responses. Clear, open-ended questions illuminate patterns and possible actions. Those are the why to clarity matters. That's why clarity matters. Now, let's delve into why clarity truly matters when consulting the I Ching. First, remember the I Ching serves as a guide for reflection rather than fortune telling instrument. Emphasize this point in order to ground discussion. If we pose vague or overly narrow questions, we risk receiving responses that don't quite hit the mark. These types of questions can lead us away from the insights we're seeking. On the other hand, open, should I say, clear and open-ended questions help illuminate patterns and guide us toward possible action. They open the door to understanding and potential change. But they use a positive tone of encouragement here as we conclude with a rhetorical question to engage the audience. And that question is, so how can we ensure our questions are clear and effective? Again, how can we ensure our questions are clear and effective? Tips for framing effective questions. Be specific about your situation. Avoid yes, no questions. Focus on your role in action. Use natural, non-leading language. Let's delve into some practical tips to help you frame effective questions when consulting the I Ching. First, being specific about your situation is crucial. This clarity helps in receiving more relevant and insightful guidance. Imagine sharing your story with a friend. The more details you provide, the better they can understand and advise you. Next, steer clear of yes, no questions. These limit the depth of the response you can receive. Instead, aim for questions that explore possibilities and insights. Focus on your role and actions. What can you do in the situation? This empowers you to take meaningful steps forward. It's about introspection and personal growth, which the I Ching beautifully supports. Lastly, use natural, non-leading language. This ensures the guidance you receive is unbiased, and truly reflective of your situation. Think of it as going as opening a door to new perspectives and rather than steering the response in a particular direction. Again, think of it as opening a door to new perspectives rather than steering the response in a particular direction. It would be sort of like self fulfilling prophecy. With these tips in mind, you're well equipped to craft questions that open doors to deeper understanding and meaningful action. Examples of good versus poor questions. Poor questions will get the job I applied. Poor question, will I get the job I applied for? Better question would be, what should I be aware of during the job application process? Reinforce. Another poor question. Is my friend angry with me? Better question. How can I improve communication with my friend at this time? Positive step towards reinforcing or for betterments. Looking for betterments. Let's explore some examples of how to frame effective questions, which is crucial when consulting the I Ching. Notice as I read the difference between the poor and the better question. Instead of asking, will I get the job I applied for, which limits the scope, consider asking, what should I be aware of during the job application process? Looking for betterments. This opens up a broader array of insights, guiding you more effectively. Develop character, not challenge fixed outcomes. Similarity. Instead of questioning, is your friend angry with me? Or is my friend angry at me? Focus on how can I improve communication with my friend at this time. This shift encourages introspection and proactive steps facilitating a more meaningful understanding of the situation. We encourage the audience to think critically about these examples. Remember, the goal is to formulate questions that are open-ended and somewhat insightful. This approach not only deepens the dialogue with the I Ching, but also empowers you to uncover actionable insights towards betterments, not challenging the outcome. See, before false premonitions are self-fulfilling prophecies. Don't be led down there. Be actionable and incite betterments. Pause briefly, move on, transition to the next section. Practical exercise. Number one, think of a current situation where you feel uncertainty. Number two, write your initial question. Number three, revise it to be open-ended, specific, and self-reflective. Go back to number two, it says write your initial question. And always in writing, you rewrite, revise it to be open-ended, specific, and self-reflective. Number four, compare the two and note the differences. That's a refined approach, uh, practical exercise. Now, let's dive into the practical exercise to solidify what we just learned about framing effective questions. First, think about a current situation where you're feeling uncertainty or uncertain, something personal or professional. Got it? Great. Now, write down your initial questions about this situation. Next, let's reframe that question. Make it open-ended, specific, and self-reflective. Remember, the aim is to invite a deeper exploration rather than a simple yes or no answer. Finally, compare your original question with your revised one. Note the difference. How has the new question shifted your perspective or focus? This exercise helps us see the power of well-framed questions in gaining clarity and insight. Feel free to share your revised questions or thoughts later if you lack. Conclude with a friendly tone, maintain encouragement, practice these exercises. Quick quiz. With this quick quiz, we see question number one. Why should yes, no questions be avoided? Question number two. Which is better for the I Ching? Yes or no? Question. Question number three. What type of language should be used when forming a question to present to the I Ching? Now, let's see how well we're absorbing this information with quick quiz. Don't worry, it's just for fun and learning. First question. Why should we avoid yes, no questions when consulting the I Ching? Is it because they're faster to answer? They limit the depth of insight? They confuse the oracle? Or D, they predict the future? Which one? Second question. When asking the I Ching about a legal case, which question might yield better insights? Talking about a legal case. Will I win the case? Answer number A. B. How can I best prepare for the case? Looking for a betterment. And for the last question, what type of language should we use when forming our questions? Should it be leading? Answer number A, leading. Answer number B, biased. C, neutral. Or D, ambiguous. Double-minded, ambiguous. This quiz is a great way to reinforce the ideas that the quality of our questions can significantly impact the insights we receive. Let's keep these concepts in mind as we continue. Here are the answers to those questions. Number one question, B, limited depth insight. Question number two is B as well. How can I best prepare for the case? Be the best form question. Not will I win the case? And C, always present yourself as neutral. Make it neutral. Get a better outcome. Now, let's take a look at questions to our quiz. Question one, correct answer to say it is B, limit depth of insight. Yes and no questions tend to close off composition and exploration, which is why more open-ended questions are encouraged when using tools like the I Ching in question. Moving to question number two, the right choice is B. How can I best prepare for the case? Your correct presentation. This type of question invites more thoughtful and expansive guidance, which is ideal when seeking wisdom. Last question. Lastly, question three, C, neutral. Neutral language is the best option. This ensures that the questions remain unbiased and open to a wider range of responses. Remember this, asking the right question is the key to unlocking deeper insights. Smile, make eye contact. We conclude this lesson. Let's continue exploring how to ask powerful questions.